Hey guys, welcome back to Thorough Capping. Today's featured track is going to be Thistledown. I mean, come Mondays, it's slim pickings as far as the racing goes. Sticking to the trend, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my race summary grid, and also just stick to the top 4 races. I will finish the rest tomorrow, and if I see anything that stands out for me, I will put them in the comments. But let's focus on the first 4, and I think Thistledown has a early pick 4. Let me check this out real fast. Yes, the early pick 4 races 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at some small fields tomorrow. So fingers crossed as far as the scratches go. Hopefully we don't get any, at least in those first 4. And we'll see if the grid here can come up with a winning ticket. When I look at the first race, and again, I'm gonna stick to the grid we've been using, the race summary grid, opposed to the main grid that you guys received, which is this one here. I mean, this one here is a little more time consuming because you're considering every horse in the race, and you're actually entering the data in for every single horse. Target rating, ability rating, all the velocity figures, the times, everything. Opposed to the summary grid, you are narrowing it down to your contenders, as I can see over here, and then you're running your matrix factors, calculations, target. I haven't been doing ability. Target buyer or target Briz, final fraction, and then the speed cumulative. And now same thing with over here. We've been doing a qualitative assessment for these categories. And then anybody that shows up in the pink or the yellow here, then move on to the contender list. And then we run the velocity and pace figures for those horses only. Alright, so in the first race, we got the 2 dominating 3 out of the 4 categories that we're covering in the matrix section. The target buyer, or target Briz, because I did use BrizNet PPs, and the speed cumulative. Over here, he has a trainer note. He's also the early speed in the race. And once I ran the pace figures, the 2 dominated this board here as well. So the 2 horse is a standout for me in this first race. And I went 2-6-1. Okay, I gave the 6th a nod off the drop, coming off a stretch move, and showing up second over here in final fraction and in speed cumulative. So I may start a pick 4 if I do play it. I may start to pick 4 out with just covering my butt a little bit with a 2 and a 6 in the first race. Okay, moving down to the second race, we have I was able to narrow it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over here in the matrix categories, we have the 5 dominating 2 of the 4. We have the target horse, and he's a target Briz. And then once I ran the pace numbers, I mean, this was a tight one. When you look at this here, this is tight, and I'm going to definitely go all 4 of these, or if not, at least a 1, 3, 5 in the second leg. The 3 horses coming off a turn move, also showing second and early pace. This move here could make this horse a little bit of better horse. He may come out and run a better race. But at the same time, I have this one in blue over here. The reason I have the early speed horse in blue is because he is also a class dropper. Alright, so again, deadly angle there. Speed on the drop equates to win a lot of times. But he still has to run the race, we want him to run. But he also dominates the velocity figures, 3 out of 4 categories here. So the 1 is my top choice in this race, followed by the 5, my target. Also showing up in the velocity grid, followed by the 3 and the 2. For right now, I'd go 1, 3, 5 in this race. Based on, I mean, the 2 is coming off a drop, but he does have a top final fraction. Again, I don't want to... Ticket's going to be small anyway. I'll probably go all 4 in that race. All right, the third race, we're looking at Another speed on the drop. We also have two other droppers in this race, the 3 and the 5. Okay, the 3 and the 5 are dropping in class. And 3 horses coming off a stretch move and a turn move. So that could be a deadly combination right there, those 3. Class drop coming off a move on the turn and in the stretch. Top average overall pace, top sustained pace, top final fraction. I very well could put this horse second or even first. The 5 horse is my target horse and target cumulative. This is a sprint race. He is top in Factor X, and he's the biggest class drop in the race. If I remember correctly, he's coming out of allowance down to claiming, whereas the 3 and the 5 are just dropping down the claiming ladder a bit. But I went with the 5, 6, 3, 2. But I could argue the 6 being first, 6, 5, 3, 2. Or because of the things I mentioned about the 3, I could argue the 3 upsetting it as well. So let's take a look at this race real quick and see where they stand morning line wise. 3 is actually 5 to 2, so the 5 horse is 2 to 1. Okay, yeah, he was coming. This is a main race, coming out of main special weight, and the 6. I overlooked him, but then I reached back and I saw the 22-2, 46-2 back in April at 16,000, and then I wanted to see if there were any other horses that were more recent that showed the need or the urge to get out of the gate, and I couldn't find any. So what I did was I requalified the 6, and ironically he went from almost being tossed to possibly being my top choice here. But like I said, that 3, 5, and 6 to me is interchangeable. The 2 horse, maybe to pump up the value, I'll keep that 2 in my, the 2's at 10 to 1. He's coming off a move on the turn. 9 lengths out to 6 lengths out. Gain 1 placement. Wasn't a great race by any means. I mean, I think he's stepping up in class. But the turn move here is the only thing. And the final fraction. No, it wasn't the final fraction, was it? That's a mistake if I was. No, he wasn't. 3 was top final fraction. So the turn move is the only thing that keeps this 2 in here for me. So I might even just go 3, 5, 6. I have it set on date here. Let me change it to text. Plain text. And the 4 horse here just stands out across the board for the most part. I mean, it's chalky, this race. The 4 is the 9 to 5 morning line favorite. The 4 is top in target speed, speed cum, Factor X, early pace, overall pace, trainer note, and he's the early speed. But I also see 7s too. So if this horse does not run his race, I'm hoping the 7 comes out and runs his. But I'll probably go 4-7 in that race. And keep this at a $12 ticket. And see what happens. Fingers crossed. No scratches. Not only because there's all... I don't want to lose any of my horses, but I don't want to lose the value in the sequence either. By having a 4-horse field or a 5-horse field. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see how this goes.